Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So today it's an important video. It's an important video for me anyway, because I want to share with you my journey and be as honest as possible with everyone. So hopefully you guys can relate to what I'm talking about, what I'm going through in terms of my business journey and things like that, and hopefully you can be inspired by it. Previously, I've been talking about things that I've done with my business, but I guess I want to really take it back and to tell you all how this all started. And it was probably about a year ago now where I actually left a high paying job that I had to actually pursue this business journey of mine. Now, I know it's quite a big risk. So I want to talk to you about, I guess, how I came to that decision, why I made the decision, and how it's been so far, if you want to say about a year in now as well, a year in this journey. And if you're in a similar situation, maybe you can relate to it as well, and it can help you, decide on what type of path you want to take as well. So to start off, I want to, I guess, discuss how I actually got the job. So before that, I was just working a normal part-time job. I had just finished my university degree, and I was looking for, obviously, a full-time job, because I guess that was the path that was expected of me to take, and it's really, I guess, what I was just expecting from myself. I didn't really think anything else other than to do it that way. And then I was really struggling to find an actual full-time job within my field that I studied, which was business marketing. I did have a big background in technology as well due to previous work experience. So I started to also look into jobs in that field. And I was lucky enough to come across one that took me on for an interview, and then I ended up offering me the role. Now, this role was a decently high-paying role in terms of what I got initially. And it was, I guess, more than I was expecting for a first job out of university. At the time, I was really happy to kind of go ahead and take this job, and I felt like I was already kind of a few steps ahead from what I was expecting, which was really good. So I started my job, things were going well, and thankfully, I was lucky enough 6 months in to be offered an opportunity for a promotion to actually kind of have more of a, if I say, team leader role, and more of a management position within the company, which took me to the salary that I thought I was so far from getting, and I thought I had to work so many more years to get to it, and that's where I hit my first six-figure salary. And like I said, this was a management position in a tech IT role. I thought when I got this promotion that that was it. I had achieved so much. I hit my six-figure salary. This is, I guess, I feel rich now and be able to do so much. And don't get me wrong, you do get a lot of financial flexibility. Especially in my position, I'm still living with my family, so I don't really have a lot of expenses and stuff like that. So I was able to obviously, be quite free in terms of my finances, my money, the money that I was making. So it was really good in terms of when I got that promotion and got that pay rise and hit that six-figure salary. It felt like I had actually accomplished something quite big, and something that I didn't expect to get at such a short amount of time. So I was definitely really blessed in that situation. And then a few months in, I guess, into the promotion role that I got, I started to realize that I guess it wasn't what I expected. Not in terms of the job was bad or anything, but getting that six-figure milestone salary that I thought was like, that dream outcome that I wanted wasn't actually as good or fulfilling as I thought. And I'm not trying to say that, oh my God, the money was not good or anything like that. But I guess for me, I thought it would allow me to do so much more. But then I started to, I guess, feel like I wasn't working for anything big or special in my role. Things were getting quite repetitive for me. It was just kind of going through the motions, and you're not really, I guess, things aren't changing up as much as I like. I like to kind of always do things differently, change things up, and always kind of be on my toes, ready for what's the next thing. But this was a bit more repetitive, which I guess a lot of typical corporate roles are. They're a lot more kind of, in motions, repetitive, doing the same tasks consistently. So I did start to feel like it was not what I expected and not what I wanted to do long term. So that's when I started to realize that I know I'm capable of a lot more than just a good high paying salary. And I knew that I wanted to try and achieve a lot more than just climbing up the corporate ladder. And I guess that was that moment in time for me where I realized that I didn't want to do this long term, and I wanted to start planning what was possible for me, not in a typical job, if you want to say. And that's when I started to look into my business journey, starting a business, wanting to start a side hustle at the start, if you want to say, and then seeing what's what the potential is there and what I'm capable of if I do take that path. So when I did decide to start that side hustle, I started to learn as much as I could in the evenings after work, taking short courses and stuff like that, and really understanding the basic foundations and how to structure a business and I guess what to expect. And then a few months later, the thought started to kind of linger in my mind of leaving my full-time job and just going full-time with the business. I knew it was going to be a risk because obviously I was going to go from a good paying salary to potentially nothing in terms of not knowing or having a predictable, repetitive income for myself compared to what I was used to. So it was a bit risky, and I guess I wasn't sure as to how I should go about this, and if I should do it that way or if I should continue working and just kind of build the side hustle until it gets to a point that's a bit more sustainable. But it was kind of a thought that I just consistently kept thinking about, and because it was on my mind so much, I felt like I needed to take action on it. As I mentioned earlier, I was in a blessed position where I didn't have a lot of expenses or big responsibilities that I had to take care of because I'm still living at home with my family. So I knew that if I did take this risk and did take that income hit, that worst comes to worst, I'm still living at home. I don't really have a lot to kind of pay for, so I could just kind of start again if I lost all my money or all my savings or whatever it was. So it helped encourage me make the decision and decide that okay, I think I want to actually leave my normal full-time job and try to go full-time with this business and really see where I can take it. So I had been there for around 1.5 years at the time now, and that's where I made the decision to actually leave my job. Just like I said, I wanted to try because I knew I would regret it if I didn't. And I feel like as Muslims, we should all strive to have some sort of business of our own, to work for ourselves, and to really try and be as successful as possible. It allows you to practice your deen so much more. It gives you that flexibility to, for example, go to Jummah prayer every Friday without needing to ask your boss for an extra long break or, some time off work, especially on like Eid and Ramadan. You're able to, be a lot more flexible with your time. And I guess when you decide to work, because, you work for yourself and you can obviously have the full control as to how you want to structure your days. So there's so many benefits as to why, if you're an aspiring Muslim entrepreneur, why it's so important to actually, aim to have your own business. And even if it's not something you're thinking about, maybe start to see the options as to how you could potentially do something like that and what are the actual benefits for you in comparison to what your current situation is. I feel like Muslims sometimes struggle with balancing din and dunya and thinking, like if I, earning too much money is not recommended, and I want to just be humble and earn like a low income. But you can still be very successful and stay humble, and if anything, the upper hand is better than the lower hand, as our religion teaches us. So you're able to help the people around you a lot more. You're able to provide for friends and family, and that's obviously one of the most important things in our religion. So don't think that wanting to aim high and be successful and a successful entrepreneur is a bad thing, because it gives you so many benefits as a Muslim. It allows you, like I said, to practice your deen better. It gives you the flexibility of time, so you can go to the masjid, you can have some time off in Ramadan, or you can change your working hours in Ramadan, because it's all in your control, it's all your decisions. So there's a lot of flexibility, there's a lot of potential if you're a Muslim and you want to start a business. So I highly recommend that, and that's one of the reasons as to why I wanted and decided to leave my job and to take this risk and start a business. Yes, it was going to be hard. Yes, I knew it was going to be a risk, but for me, I wanted to learn as much as I could and to really get to a point that I can try, inshallah, and succeed as much as possible, to then get to the point where I can provide for my family, where I can have that flexibility to travel and go to wherever I want, Muslim countries, go to Umrah if possible, and not have to just take annual leave once a year. So all that is available to you if you have a business and if you start something for yourself. So that was one of the biggest decisions as to why I wanted to leave my full-time job, even though alhamdulillah it was paying me a very high salary. But that's why I decided, one of the big reasons why I decided to leave it and to try go full-time with the business and to give me that flexibility. And alhamdulillah, I've had that all of this year. I've been very flexible with my time. I've been able to focus on my deen a lot more. I've been able to, go to every single Friday prayer, alhamdulillah. And for me, that's worth so much more than just getting a high paying job where that doesn't allow you to have that flexibility. Now that it's been just under a year since I made that decision and have gone full time with my business, I guess I have a lot more experience with regards to what I've done now, how I've handled situations, the ups and the downs, and kind of how to actually run a business. I feel like so many of us, and I'm sure you guys watching as well will relate to this, we consume so much content on how to do things and we'll take notes, but you're not actually going to learn anywhere near as much unless you actually get hands-on and go through these things yourself. So that's when I started to actually experience all of this stuff this year and really see, okay, how is it to actually run a business, sign a client, lose a client, have a very high income month and then drop quite a bit because of a couple of clients left you. So going through all that is something you just have to experience. You can listen and learn about it as much as possible, but you're not going to know how to actually handle it unless you go through it yourself and kind of, I guess, just go completely in on it and really understand, how you're going to be able to handle that situation in the position you're in once you get to that point. So that's when I started to really learn a lot more than just taking these mini short courses or watching videos and content. You need to really try to get as hands-on as possible. So far, in just under a year that it has been a bit more difficult than I expected, I'll be honest. I would have liked to be a little bit further down in my journey at this point in comparison to where I actually am. So that's a little bit frustrating for me on my end, but obviously it is all on me. So I do have myself to blame for that. I could have potentially put more effort in and worked a little bit harder to get to, I guess, where I was expecting. I didn't hit my expectations so far. I do know that business journeys for everyone is full of ups and downs and you have to learn from that. So for me, it has been a bit more difficult than I thought. I have had some successes, don't get me wrong. Of course I have, thankfully, and I'm blessed for that. But at the same time, obviously, there are some challenges that come with it that not many people would tell you. And again, you just have to go through them yourself. So I guess I've been able to learn a lot this year about these ups and downs and how to get through them and how to, I guess, make decisions much better than I was because of what I have experienced so far. Don't just believe or listen to all the content creators and stuff that you hear. Don't get me wrong, they help a lot, and that's what I want to try and do as well. I want to try and advise everyone who's wanting to go on a similar journey, but at the same time, you need to go through it. You need to experience it. You need to make the decisions yourself. People like me and obviously way bigger creators and content creators will be able to advise you on the things that they've experienced. And try to help you with kind of get you in the right frame of mind and thinking about it in the right way. But until you do it yourself and go through it, you're not going to completely understand, I guess, what is being referred to. So you can do as much research and homework as possible, but I urge everyone to actually take action and not just kind of get too caught up with consuming too much content. You can listen to a few things, watch a few things, but then you have to start making the decisions yourself. And another thing to take note of is you must be self-disciplined. This is one thing that I quickly found out, and thankfully for me, I do see myself as someone who is quite disciplined. When you do try work for yourself, obviously no one is telling you what to do or when to do it. So it can be quite easy for you to get caught up and maybe slack off a little bit because you don't have, I guess, any deadlines to meet from anyone else or like a manager or anything like that. So you must be self-disciplined. I can't emphasize that enough. You have to put yourself in some sort of routine or schedule or block out times in your calendar to actually work on what it is you need to build because like I said, there isn't anyone telling you what to do. So you don't want to get caught up in I guess getting a bit lazy or slacking off. So self-discipline is one of the most important traits you need to have if you want to build a business, and especially if you want to start it by yourself and you're not really doing it with anyone else at the beginning. And look, it's going to be hard. It's still hard for me. I still have doubts, but I know that for me, there's a point where you come to a crossroad where it's getting difficult, things aren't going your way, and you either just continue to push through, and then you will see the other side, and the more wins will come, the more positivity in this business will start to come, but you need to kind of get through this rough patch, or people will decide to stop and obviously just give up on what they were trying to achieve. So you're going to have doubts, it's going to be difficult, like I said, I still go through them myself. You know, I'm still very early on in my journey. I haven't succeeded anywhere near as much as, you know, other business content creators, but this is me and my journey. And for someone who is maybe 6 to 12 months, you know, before me, what I was 6 to 12 months ago, this is something you must know. This is, you know, hopefully this video can be beneficial for you. You can get you a bit of an understanding into what to expect if you were trying to make a decision of leaving a job or trying to start a business full-time or whatever it may be. So thanks for watching, everyone. I really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more content moving forward. Very similar to this, just me sharing my journey, giving you tips and advice. So if you do enjoy this type of content, please subscribe. Comment down below if you have a question. I'll be happy to answer and talk with you guys as well. If you have any recommendations for what types of videos you would like to see, also let me know in the comments, and hopefully I can take that on board for, you know, future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.